Hello everyone and welcome back to Battleborn, still the open beta build in which I would like to talk real quickly about items. The reason I want to do this is that I noticed that some people seem to have a slight misconception about items in this game, how they work and how they actually affect your gameplay. So you can check your items in the command tab under gear. Who would have thought that your gear is under gear, eh? So either way, bad puns aside. How do you acquire items? Let's start there. There is 3 ways to acquire items, I would say. One is you can drop them in the story missions. You will drop them from bosses in the form of the items themselves or gear packs, which you will then find here under packs. The packs are kind of like booster packs in your trading card games, so you get a random choice of items there. And this far I've seen gear packs for common, uncommon, rare, and epic gear. Rarity wise, there is common gear, which is grey, and I don't have any of those anymore. I always sold them because otherwise I'd need to buy more slots to access it. The uncommon one is green, the rare one is blue, epic is the violet one, and then there's legendaries, which are orange, which I was lucky enough to get 2 of in the first story mission, actually. So anyway, what is gear good for? Actually, first let me tell you where else you get it. So the other source of it is during the story missions, you will get challenges during the mission, like open a certain amount of loot crates, loot stuff, or kill enemies. When you complete those, you sometimes don't only get experience, but you also sometimes get a loot pack, which is not too bad. So that's another way to get them. Also, some seem to be tied to achievements in some way, but I'm really not sure about that at all. The other possibility is via the packs tab, because you can actually buy them. And no, you cannot buy them for cash. The currency you use here is the currency that you earn by doing the missions, both the story missions and also in the PvP matches. And as you can see, there is various loot packs. You have a common one, uncommon, rare, and epic, as I said, and then there's one for each of the 5 factions. What's the point of those? Well, you get faction-specific gear, which is catered to the faction kinda, and also have a chance to get a skin or a taunt for one of the Battleborn of that faction, which is nice. So acquiring gear is a matter of playing the PvE or playing the PvP and then just buying the packs. So what's the gear good for? How is it used? So you can use the gear in both the missions and the PvP matches, and you have to set up a loadout. As you can see, I have 3 loadouts here. Each of them consists of 3 pieces of gear, and you can buy extra loadout slots as well. Before you start the match, this goes for both the story missions and the PvP matches, you pick one of the loadout slots, and this loadout slot will stick with you throughout the whole game. So then you have to stick to that. So it's best to choose one that fits your playstyle and your character. For example, down here I have one for supports that has sprint speed, heal power, damage reduction, and also reduced buildable cost. While this one in the middle here, which I called Assault, is focused on crit damage, general attack damage, and reload speed, and all this kind of stuff. So, does this mean your character is simply better than someone without items? Yes and no. Mostly no, I would say, because the problem with the thing with items is they have activation costs, and this activation cost is paid with the shards that you get in the game. And as you can see fairly quickly, a common item, for example this one here, it even has a negative ability that reduces your shield recharge, which is not great at all. Costs only 329 shards to activate, while this legendary costs 1800. In PvP, that's 1.5 fully upgraded towers, because a fully upgraded tower costs you 1200 shards. So you might want to think about what you do first. You can go for your items straight away, yes, but the thing is, building deployables in PvP matches grants you experience, and experience lets you level up quicker. So you kind of have to make a call there. So if your team has a total edge, yes, then you can get the items, and yes, you will get the boost from them, but if your team has the edge anyway, your team has the edge. So at this point it kind of just goes quicker. So in my opinion, no, you are not inherently stronger than someone who does not have the same pieces of gear that you do have access to, because someone can still just make sure that turrets and stuff are always deployed and upgraded, because that will cost constantly shards, because the other team will constantly keep destroying them. That's for the PvP side of things. For the PvE, it doesn't matter anyway, because during the mission, yes, you will acquire shards, but you play together, so you'd only hope that the other one has items that are good, and that will help your team, right? In order to beat the mission. Possibly even faster, maybe with a better rating, or even at all if you have issue with it. For example, in the hardcore advanced mode. So yeah, there's that. Gear, while having it, is nice, and while having it gives you a bit of a boost, as you can see, for example, the pacifier, plus 8.7% attack damage, plus 87 maximum shield, and also damaging enemies lowers their attack damage for 5 seconds. Yes, this is nice, but you also need to pay a decent amount of shards in the game in order to activate it first. So that's their way of balancing it. Yes, the gear is totally random, so as you can see, there's lots of pieces of gear here across the various rarities, and even if you look at those two here, they have different abilities, so I'd simply toss the top one here away due to the negative ability it has, simply to save the slot, because yes, you can make your inventory better, but that also costs a lot of credits. More credits than I currently have, and I have not spent credits on anything, so that's all the credits I got. So that was just a quick video on the gear in the game, how the gear works and how you get it, to maybe clarify some things for some people that had a few, I'd say, misconceptions about how gear works and how it actually affects the gameplay. Yes, it makes you better, but you also have to pay a price for it in each single game. So if you cannot get to that point, the gear does not help you at all. I had actually quite a lot of games in Meltdown where I wasn't even in the position to get, well, maybe 1 legendary, but definitely not 2, leave alone 3. So yeah, there is that to this. I think this will go well, but that aside, we can only wait and see how it turns out in the long run. So this just as a quick information, which was hopefully helpful for you. If it was, please give me a thumbs up. If you did not like this video, give me a thumbs down. You of course do not have to give me a thumbs up if you don't want to. Leave a comment if you like, and if you do not want to miss my other videos on other games, on also Battleborn, maybe on Warframe, on Division, I always promise the same games. Maybe something else I end up playing, who knows. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. This was me, Drenon, with a bit of an explanation on items in Battleborn, on the state of the open beta, bear that in mind, but I do not think that it will change for the final game. So, hopefully see you all in 2 weeks in the game and also in my next video. Bye!